this month's Women at Work segment, we take you inside the Forbes Women Summit. Now, the event brings together hundreds of women business leaders to showcase what they do best, being entrepreneurs. Over the last 15 years, women-owned companies have grown at rates 1.5 times faster than similar enterprises. And they also account for nearly 30% of all businesses. Women make up a significant part of the solar entrepreneur movement. By 2018, women-owned businesses are projected to create up to 5.5 million new U.S. jobs. And they'll also account for almost half of all new businesses. Well, Tracy Tandon takes us for a closer look at how some of these successful women got to where they are now.
Asked to sign books.
While women in the upper echelons of corporations around the world continue to fight for equality and progress, women entrepreneurs have something to rejoice about. According to the social enterprise firm Womenable, women-owned firms raking in revenues of at least $10 million have increased by 57% over the last decade. For many of these self-made entrepreneurs, it wasn't an easy climb to the top. At this year's annual Forbes Women Summit, some of the world's most successful women entrepreneurs share their struggles. Jennifer Hyman, co-founder of Rent the Runway, a retail company that rents designer dresses, describes one meeting with a top venture capitalist that left her feeling dismissed.
As a woman, I found that I was always doubted on my analytical abilities, so I felt like I had to lead with that in order to convince them that I actually know what I'm talking about and I'm going to know how to bring this business to profitability. And at the end of the pitch, the head of the firm comes up to me, he grabs my hand in his, cups my hand, and he said, "You are just so adorable."
Real estate developer and entrepreneur Ivanka Trump shares a similar story.
And we were in the Middle East, and we had just landed. And we get off the plane, and we're ready to go to the meetings, and I'm all psyched up. You know, it's like one of my first business trips. And the gentlemen who were there to greet us took my brother in one car and me in another. And 5 minutes later, we pull up at a mall. And I go, "Where are we?" You know, I thought, because we had sort of had a divide and conquer strategy. We had several meetings scheduled. They said, "Well, they thought that you'd prefer to go shopping, but your brother's at the office."
Most business leaders and entrepreneurs agree that the biggest challenge women entrepreneurs often face is access to funding.
One conversation we hear time and time again is access to capital. When you look at the traditional capital opportunities, venture capital and the like, it's still such a huge challenge for women to get funded. The number of women in the VC world is still marginal. And because so many of the big VC firms are still dominated by men, they often may not have the appetite or understand the size of a market that these women are trying to enter.
Despite the roadblocks, the number of women-owned firms in the U.S. continues to climb. It's now estimated there are nearly 9.5 million in America, making up almost a third of all businesses across the country.
And one of the things I say as a female entrepreneur, I've noticed that one of my greatest strengths is also a weakness, and that is as a woman being underestimated. So being underestimated hurt me along the journey, but it also really helped me along the journey.
According to some studies, the number of wealthy women across the U.S. is growing twice as fast as men. It's not just wealthy women funding other women entrepreneurs. Crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo have also helped. Almost half of Indiegogo's successful campaigns are run by women. Tracy Tandon, CCTV, New York.